Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode. Today is a very special day. I finally received my turbos back. I had to pull Sapphire out, and she's sitting outside looking really good. I did get the mirrors back finally, and yeah, the whole car's starting to look okay now. It definitely does need a good, really good wet sand and buff. So I'm gonna have to have somebody actually do that because I'm not good at it, but it is really looking good. But anyway, so let's go with the GTR. So finally got my turbos back from Spectrum, and they rebuilt them. I guess they put a new center cartridge in, a different upgraded center cartridge, something that I did not have before. They cleaned up my compressor housing and left the exhaust housing the way it was, because it was a really good listen, all right, so let me get this right off the bat. So Spectrum contacted me about these turbos, told me what was going on. It's pretty much a mystery of what actually happened, but as a precaution, what I will do is be draining my oil and flushing it just to make sure that I get any kind of contaminants out of the oil that I possibly can. Even though I know it's pretty brand new oil, I'm gonna just get rid of it. But Spectrum gave me the option to go with something crazy wild. So shout out to Spectrum. They actually asked me if I wanted to go with better turbos, like bigger turbos for my setup, but my tune was already done. I didn't really want to pay for a new tune or anything like that. Plus, I'm on a stock engine already, so I would like to just hit that 5 to 550 mark in this car, which I'm pretty sure I can possibly do still. But you know, that's neither here nor there. We will definitely see how it kind of ends up. But in this video, what I will show you is we have a running GTR, which let me show you real quick. I have not taken anything off, and it is still all intact up here. So nothing is taken apart, nothing is like removed. So like, we're going to be going through this A to Z, and I'm going to be removing these turbos right on camera for you guys, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that with these turbos in, because they are a pain to get in and out. But you know, with a little TLC and some time on your hands, you can do the same. So the first time I actually got these things out and back in, it took me about 4 to 4.5 hours to do. Obviously I'm not going to film for that long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the old turbos out, and while I'm off camera, I will put the new turbos in, because taking them out is pretty much a reverse of what you need. Some of the things that you will need besides the turbos are all new gaskets. You already know that, and all new crush washers for your coolant lines. Other than that, it should really be a 1, 2, 3, just getting your hands in there and getting dirty in this tight space. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do the first thing you need to do anytime you really work on a car is disconnect the battery, because the last thing you'd really want to do is mess up anything with the electrical system on any of these. And you know, well, it's not a newer car, but any car, really, any car, you don't want to mess up the electrical system on any car. So first thing you need to do, pull the negative off the battery terminal, and then we can definitely get to work on this bad boy. So I will get my pointer finger out, my trusty pointer finger, and I'll start taking pictures left and right for you guys. One thing I didn't realize that they had told me about is that they ship these like new oil drain lines, and they're kind of dope. If you guys know anything about the GTRs come with this like legit. This is a 90-degree elbow off of the front turbo. So yeah, we're not going to be using this. So I think that's probably what some of my issue was. It was probably backing up into the turbo. So they gave me a nice smooth shaft to go down to the oil pan, back into the block. The rear turbo, on the other hand, I'm going to have to utilize that 90-degree elbow, which kind of sucks because I do have that air oil separator from Nismo. So there's nothing really I can do about that. It just is what it is. But let me stop talking. Let's get right into this video. It'll probably be a long one. So just sit tight, bear with me. We'll get it going. All right, everybody, so I'm at this point here. So it's really hard for you to actually see what I'm actually doing. I'm taking pictures, but I want to make sure that I actually get everything documented for you guys. So down here on the intake tube, well, it's not the intake tube, it's the blow-off valve pipe. It's a big Y with a bottom here. All you really need to do to remove this is it's an 8mm clamp here, 8mm clamp here, and there is an 8mm clamp back here that I removed, and a 10mm bolt here. So I'm trying to get it so that I can document all this stuff for you. One of the things that on this intake pipe here, there is a clamp that you need a long extension, but if you remove all of this stuff here, I'll show you. If you remove all of this, it is very, very accessible. So let me put this over here. All right, so looking at it, the clamp is right here. It is an 8mm, and you can get that. You can get this intake pipe off here. So I'm gonna just keep it rolling here. I'm actually just blowing right through this. I have to get a mount for my my Mac valve here because it's just kind of like laying. So I do need to order something. I didn't know that it was just laying here, but it is what it is. I kind of, I don't know. It is what it, whatever. But, so we're going to keep it moving here. I will need to take off the air oil separator. I can only take off the bracket. I can take off the two hoses up top here. And then everything else is down below because there's a line for the return down below. So I just have to keep that in mind here. So, yeah, let me set the camera up and we're going to keep it going. All right, everybody, so now I'm at this point here. I kind of feel bad because I actually broke a bolt, one of the manifold bolts up at the top here, really making me mad. Hopefully I can drill that out, so we'll have to see. But I'm at this point here where everything at the top so far is disconnected. So now what I got to do is I got to lift the car up and I have to undo the exhaust. I have to get the what do you want to call that? the line for the AOS, or air oil separator, it goes down to the bottom. I have to disconnect that, and I think that's it. Just remember that you do need to disconnect your O2 sensors front and rear here. Not like it's going to make a difference as of right now, but you just want to make the difference. So just keep that in mind. I will put the car in the air, and we will go from the bottom, and I'll show you exactly what we're doing down there. So let me put the car up. Be right back. All right, everybody. So now that we have the car up in the air, a couple things you're gonna have to do. So these two bolts here are usually 14s. These are 15s for me, but usually 14 millimeters. So remove those two. You're gonna have 2 for each turbo, up there, 2 up there. And for me, I have a wideband O2 sensor, so I'm gonna have to cut all of this stuff here. You will need to remove the mustache bar from the front. That's 2 14 mils on each side, and a 10 mil that holds the line for the power steering, one of the power steering lines. And then you can actually, back here, like my beautiful exhaust, it's bluing, but you'll need something to hold the exhaust. So I have this, it's like a little, like, I don't know, like aluminum, like twisty tie kind of thing from Harbor Freight, to hold the exhaust, because you don't want this you know, exhaust temperature, cat temperature thing to fall out or do anything. Well, it's loose. That's weird. So I got to tighten that back up. That's very, very odd. Not like I need it, but anyway. But yeah. So get all that stuff off, and then we can keep it moving from there. So I'm not gonna film all of this. I'll just, you know, you guys got pictures. You guys know what the deal is. So get that off, and then we can move forward. So let's go. All right, ladies and gentle folks. So let me get my thing here, and let me show you. I accidentally started taking this off, but I want to just show you the one thing that you're gonna have to do while you're underneath here. Whenever you take off your exhaust, have it hung. Everything is good to go, ready to go. There's a lot of water in there because of the E85, which is crazy. But you're gonna have to take off these turbo brackets. So that bracket there's 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3. They're all, well, 2 of them are 10s. One at the bottom is a 12 millimeter. And on this side, there's 2 10s, top in the middle, and a 12 millimeter on the block. So yeah, same as the back. So you're going to want to remove that bracket, and you're gonna want to take the down to, you know, like this turbo you know, oil return line. You're gonna have to take that off. Yeah, like that's the one I had to kind of make and put there. It was very temporary. The rear is a little bit different of a story. So there's 2 bolts here on this on this oil return line in the back of the block. It is 2 10 or 12 millimeter bolts there. You can actually take that whole pipe, take this whole pipe off right here, and you can replace that gasket if you needed to. When I put this one, the old turbos back on, I did not need to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do all of that now, and I'm gonna take this off. This is for the AOS, this little this piece here. So take all of that off, and we can let it back down, and then we could work on the top from there. Well, no, I actually have to take out all the oil, and I have to remove, well, yeah, the petcock is here, all the coolant out of this car, so that I can actually get the turbos out without making a super mess. So like I said before, whenever you're doing this, you will need to drain the coolant. Oil is very optional. I'm going to do it because I was suggested to do it by Spectrum, just to make sure that there's fresh oil in there. So I'm going to do that now. Take out those brackets, remove all the oil and the coolant. Then we could actually put it down, and we can go up top, and I'll show you exactly what we need to do to finish up getting these turbos out. So let's go. All right, people. So we are back on the ground here. All the oil is out, all the coolant is out. So now everything at the bottom is disconnected as far as the turbo, I don't know what you want to call that, the brace, turbo brace front and back, and the turbo drains front and back. So, which is awesome. So And the AOS is disconnected too. So I need to get this out. This is two 10mm bolts, two 10mm bolts. If you guys have this, if you don't really worry about it. It's just really not that big of a deal. Now, this is, you know what, actually, let me get this off and we could talk about the next steps here. So hold on, give me 1 second. All right, everybody, so now that we have the AOS out of the way, this is where we're gonna differentiate from a couple different things. So if you guys have watched any of my previous videos, you guys have known that I went with the RAV Motorsports, or RAV Motorsports, the coolant line deletes. So right behind the turbos, I'll show you here, right behind the turbos, there is lines that go up above here, and the spiders, they go down, and they are for coolant lines. One here, and it's a big mess up here. I do not have that. So now you will have to make that decision on how to get that out. I deleted mine a long time ago, and it's pretty much a bracket that goes up top here. It goes around the back of the engine, and then comes up and feeds coolant to the two turbos. So I deleted all that in favor of a couple different lines. So I did it my way. I feel like it was pretty good, but this is where you're gonna have to differentiate from. So the coolant lines, if I'm not mistaken, were 21mm. They were down here, so you're gonna have to remove all of that. My setup is a little bit different, so I will have to disconnect these. These are 14s. The top of the coolant here, the coolant return, is a 21. If I do decide to take that out, and I need to just take all of this stuff off. So it is going to be a little difficult. I can get it over to the bench and I could show you exactly when I'm putting these things back together. But for right now, the easiest way to get these turbos out is to disconnect them at their source here at the top of the header. So it's four, I think they're 13mm bolts, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a special bracket here, and it's up there so that the nuts will not come off. So I have mine bent out already because I already knew that I was going to be coming and doing a new set of turbos. So I didn't put them back together. I probably drove maybe 10 miles on this setup because I knew exactly what it was going to be like. So what you're going to do is you're going to disconnect or undo all four of these bolts. So the back bolt back here, the 13mm, you're going to have to use a regular wrench. All the rest of these you can use a ratchet. So all of these are the same thing back here. So you're going to have to use a ratchet, a regular 13mm wrench to get back there. Once you get that disconnected, both of these, you can actually push the turbo down and you'll have enough room to get a socket and everything that you need to get these headers off. So let me set the camera up and I'll show you exactly what I mean. People, so as you can tell, I have these bad boys pushed down like this. I don't know if you can see that gap. Yeah, you can see that gap pretty clear, and there's a gap here pretty clear. So now what we can do is, I think these are 13s. Let me see if they are 13s. No, they're 12s. They're 12s, all up and down the intake or the exhaust manifold. So there's 2, 4, 6 bolts on each one. So it's gonna take you some time, but at least you created some space in between here so that you can actually get into this spot. Actually, you can make yourself some more space if you want to take this 14 off, because then you can push this down a little bit more, which I probably will do. So I will get my 17. It's actually 17. I'm sorry, 17 mil. I'll just take these 2 coolant lines off, and probably even the oil line there, and then we'll be good to go. So yeah. Let's just keep it going. right, everybody, sorry I took so long. This back bolt down here, even with the space that we've made, was still a pain in the butt. But I do have everything all taken off. Back turbo manifold off. Put this over to the side over here. And the front turbo manifold should come off with little resistance here. All right, there we go. So those are your two manifolds. The next thing, since we do have everything up top here and we could see it all, now we can kind of start making headway here. So the only thing that I have on this turbo in the front is the oil line. So that oil line sits right here. It is a, I believe it's a 17. I believe it's a 17. Let me check this. Yes, it is a 17 millimeter. So that's going to be your oil line for the front. The back is going to be the same oil line, and you're going to want to remove your coolant line. So like I said before, my coolant lines are, I thought they were 17s. They're actually 18s. But I removed the front oil lines, or the front coolant lines. All I just need is the oil line up front, and then I could remove that and oil and coolant lines from the rear. So let's set the camera up. Let's keep it going. Ladies and gentlefolk, so I have everything disconnected, everything out, both turbos out, and this is what we're left with. Nice and clear side over here. And I will tell you, it definitely took me longer than I expected. It's just because of the exhaust manifolds, but it is about 1:15. I think we started at 11:30, so do the math over there, like maybe 2.5 hours or so. And yeah, I'm happy that we're in this together here. But like I said before, it didn't take me very long to get the old turbos out and the new turbos back in. So this is where I'm going to leave this video off. I took many pictures for you guys. I did a bunch of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the time from now to the end of this video, and I'll show you exactly. It's just exactly what it looks like when I took everything off. But I'm going to get everything put back together, and I'm going to go test drive this bad boy because I haven't driven it hard yet on this tune. So I'll make sure everything is solid, make sure that there's no leaks. Right now, I have a massive coolant leak because I just, you know, when I emptied out the radiator, there was just a lot more coolant in the lines than I thought. So I have to clean all of that up. But like I said before, if you like this video, found it helpful in any way, shape, or form, I'm happy to help. But yeah, if you liked it, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Deuces. A quick update before we end off this video. So I ran into some issues, and I will show you right now. So this here is the is my, what do you want to call that? The AOS. So Nismo makes this AOS system, and it usually is up here, comes down L, and then an L for piece for the lower part of the AOS. So I had to get this made, well, custom welded or whatever, because the flange here is different on these turbos than the last turbos. So just keep that in mind if you are running an AOS from Nismo, that you will need to cut and like kind of custom weld your own piece here. So yeah, it's a little upsetting, but I mean, it is what it is. It goes like this, and it comes off the rear turbo. But yeah, so just keep that in mind if you're ever going with Spectrum turbos. They use a new type of Garrett cartridge, center cartridge, and the fittings are way different. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I'll see you guys on the next one.